Alright guys, so we started looking at rounding fractions to the nearest half, both simple fractions and mixed numbers. For your bell work today, you were looking at page 274, numbers 40 through 44. So I want to go over those and make sure that we have a firm understanding of how we are rounding these fractions. So looking at number 40, you had 1 2/5. Jocelyn, how did you round this one?
1 1/2.
You said 1 1/2. Why did you choose to round 2/5 to 1/2?
Because 2.5 is half of 5.
Okay. Alright, so Jocelyn looked at it as, well, I know half of 5 is 2.5, and that's close to what the numerator is. Do you guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Alright, let's look at 41. We had 7 4/9. Chase, talk to me about this one.
What I did was I went 2 1/2 because it is closer to it's closer to 5 than 10.
Okay.
So I would do 1/2, so it'd be 7 1/2.
Awesome. And this is kind of that same principle where half of 9 is 4 1/2. So it's that same distance as that 2 1/2 here on 40. Good. All right, 42. Let's look at it. We have 5 3/8. Aaron.
I rounded to 5 1/2.
Okay.
Because I know that 2/8 is 1/4, and 1/4 you round to 0.
Okay.
And there's 1/8 above it, so that's higher than 1/4. So I rounded to 1/2.
Good job. Everybody agree? Good. All right, looking at number 43. 2 5/6. Dennis?
I got 3, because that's the nearest half, because there's only half is 3, 6, and so it's 5, 6 plus 2 is 6, and I'm the nearest half, and I'll be 1 whole, so it's 3.
Good. All right, so he compared it to what he knows is half, and it's only 1 away from the whole, so he knows that this rounds up. All right, looking at the last one, number 44, we had 2 1/12. Dylan?
2.
Why did you round it down to 2?
Because,
All right, the 1/12. You can't get any further away with a numerator and a denominator than 1 and the denominator, okay? So good work. All right, any questions about rounding? I think that we felt really good yesterday after, our conversation was a little scary. We were all a little bit nervous. I felt a little nervous. But as soon as you guys started doing the work, you were kind of like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And if you weren't, you had a quick question. Some of you were like, is this right? And I'm like, yeah, you're doing it right. And it was like, okay, I'm good. No worries. Okay? Okay, so we are going to take these principles of what we've been talking about the past couple of days to start looking at multiplying fractions. So in your notes, if you are not turned to your notes page, let's go ahead and get there. Today is the 14th.
Did you call this rounding 3?
Nope. We're going to write our objective down, and it is I can round to the nearest half. That is an N, sorry. To estimate the product of 2 fractions.
So this is the whole title?
Yep. writing our objective down. This is what we're doing today. Nope. I want you to write what I put up there. This is your title. We're going to have the objective as the title. You're not going to... Give you a second to get that written down. Aiden, I need you to focus on what we're doing now. Put your pencil down when you have it written. Yes, sir.
What is Y2?
It's not Y2, it's 1/2.
Oh.
Okay, are we ready? All right, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to start on a new page so we can start up at the top. We're going to have examples. Keep in mind what we've been talking about the last few days about what fractions we're rounding down, which ones we're keeping at a half, and which ones we're rounding up to the next whole. Okay, Blake, please put that away. All right, so the first one that I want to look at is 1/5 times 16. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, erase that one, guys. I don't want to start with that one. Sorry. Do 5/6 times 13. So if we're looking at this and we know we have to round, what are you going to round 5/6 to, Dylan?
1.
1. So your problem here for estimating is 1 times 13, which equals what? 13. That's it. All right? So we're going to just practice some, and then you guys are going to have time to work while you're with me, okay? All right, so let's look at B. 5/8 times 9/10. Think about that one for a second. Think about, do you know how you're going to round it? Meanwhile, what are you going to round 5/8 to?
To 1.
You're going to round it to 1?
I mean, 1/2.
1/2.
And I don't know, not an even way.
Hold on. We're just rounding today. Okay?
Wait, why 1/2?
Okay, so Dylan says, why 1/2? Let's look at, so Dylan, if we're looking at the denominator of 8,
It is over 1.
no, I said if it was over 3/4. All right, so if we're looking at 8, 4/8 would be half. Do you agree with me, Dylan?
Yes.
Okay, then I would have 5/8 and then 6/8. 6/8 is equal to 3/4. So remember that I told you guys the day before yesterday and yesterday that if it was 3/4 or more, we were rounding up. If it was just above one, if it was greater than 1/4 but less than 3/4, we were rounding it to a half. Okay, so this falls in that category that's less than 3/4. And then what are we going to round 9/10 to?
1.
1. What is your answer?
1/2.
What do you think?
1/2.
Why are you saying 1/2?
I multiplied.
You multiplied it.
A fraction, using fraction times the whole number will make a smaller number than the whole number.
Like if you do half times the whole number, then it would make the answer would be half of the whole number that you multiplied.
Yeah, it's like dividing 1 by 2.
But
How do you know that?
because I figured it out with our.
I've already heard that. It's like,
Hold on, we gotta go. Josh, what do you think?
Remember the rule, anything times 1 is itself.
Yes. Okay.
If you did 1/2 times like 6, then the answer would be 3 because you would divide the whole number by 2.
No, I am not trying to trick you. I'm just very, very glad to hear what I'm hearing.
And also 1/2 of 1 is 1/2.
Right. Okay, so here's a couple of things that 3 things. Listen, put your pencils down. I want you to hear the 3 things that I heard while you guys were shouting things out. 1, I heard, don't you remember, anything times 1 is itself. Okay. Then I heard, well, 1/2 of a whole is half. And then I heard, usually when you multiply fractions, you get a smaller number. I am very, very happy to hear those 3 things come from you guys. Because one of the common misconceptions that we'll really, really look at when we start talking about this and picking up with it next week, when we multiply normal numbers, whole numbers, we get a bigger number, right? I don't know how many times this year and other years that I've said, okay, we have a bigger number, guys, so that means that we've multiplied or we've added. Which one did we do? And then you kind of figure that out. Well, here, when you throw fractions in the mix, you're not going to get a bigger number. You're going to get a smaller number. So the fact that you guys are aware of that, several of you are already aware of that, is really, really awesome. I'm really proud to hear that. If you are not aware of that, don't freak out. We're going to be just fine, okay? It will all be fine. All right, good. This makes me happy. All right. See if I can find one to try to trick you up. Good luck with that. Ooh, it's a challenge. I probably can't trick you up today with the rounding, so we'll see. All right, let's do it. Are we on D, C? C. Thanks. All right, here we go. Let's try this one. 5/6 times 1/9. Oh, that is a 1. Totally, I promise. It is 1/9. Yes. Here, I'll erase it. Make it look better. Oh, I hear it. Oh, easy. Yes, sir.
Equals 1/9.
We are not multiplying as is. We're estimating. Okay, we're rounding.
I know.
Okay.
I round 5, 6 to 1 and times 1/9.
So you have to round both fractions. Round both fractions. All right, Gabby, talk to me.
5 and 6.
Okay, so she rounded 5/6 to 1. 1/9 is to 0.
So anything times 0 is 0.
Good. Questions? Don't forget, you're rounding both fractions, not just one. B1?
If you have never mind.
If you think about it, ask, okay? All right, okay. If you can write it down, show me an example of your question. Okay, Julio? Yeah. Any other questions? How are you guys feeling about this? Today, I definitely have better looks across your faces. Today is kind of like, please, we got this.
I haven't been here for the past 2 days and I still do this.
Well, yesterday was a little scary. I started 6th hour yesterday with, all right, guys, 5th hour is rough. And so we talked about it and it all worked out, okay? So I'm glad that you guys felt confident or better yesterday once you started working. You feel great today. I feel good about next week. I'm excited to get there with the material that we're headed to, especially with all the things that you're already saying, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Do we feel okay with the examples? Okay, then I'm going to go ahead, and here's what's going to happen. I know that we're all kind of, I see some different facial expressions like, ooh, I'm not real sure if I'm okay with all this, and that's all right. This will give us the opportunity for those of you that are ready, you can get going and get started, maybe even get it turned in. Those of you that are still feeling a little timid about it, we now have time for me to work with you, okay? Alright, so your assignment for today is going to carry between 277 and 278. You're going to be working on numbers 5 through 10, and then 21 through 30. It's about 15 problems, guys. It's okay.